What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and I don't know, what order I'm going to upload these in, but yesterday there was a hilarious F around and find out moment at Google where somewhere around 30 of the employees decided to stage a sit-in, a an anti-Israel sit-in, or really just they didn't like that Google was doing work with them. Whatever, I don't care. You're allowed to do that off the clock. You're allowed to do it off company property. Except these people thought, well, let's just take over somebody's office and refuse to leave. And so not only were they all arrested, but they were all fired immediately. Awesome. Again, I don't have any dog in this fight. I don't want any dog in this fight. I don't want any part of what's going on over there as an American. I will say, just don't do it on the clock. I mean, don't be stupid. It's really not that hard to not be stupid. But also, on the very same day, Google announced more massive layoffs. And as a part of that layoff, we found that an individual that was in charge of child safety at Google turns out to be a pretty terrible person. So we're going to take a look at both parts of this story. Google announces another round of layoffs as a part of a large-scale restructuring. Don't forget that earlier this year, Google fired something like 10,000 people. The industry got fat and happy, really under Trump and pre-Trump. And now things are tightening up. Advertising dollars are drying up. I've talked about it before. You know, even as somebody who survives off ad dollars, it's about half of what it was a year ago. That's a 50% haircut. You know, and that the cost of my staff hasn't changed. I still have 4 full-time employees. That hasn't changed. So what has to happen? Generally, you lay people off or you diversify. In my case, I'll remind people that as of today, we have opened our always selling out at Coffee Brand Coffee, our Mother's Day gift boxes. Either get our pre-built box or use our awesome gift box builder. So if they don't like coffee, you can build it with cocoa, tea, snacks, whatever you want. Promo code MOTHER saves you 10%, and we sell out every time. So make sure you use the link in the description. You get your Mother's Day brand new product too, Toffee brand toffee. It is absolutely delicious. So if you're doing a custom build, make sure you put the toffee in there because it's stupid delicious. But that's how I survive. I hope people buy coffee. I hope people subscribe to my locals account or that kind of stuff. Google can't really do that because their whole business model is selling ads. Google announces another round of layoffs as part of a large-scale restructuring. Google is laying off large numbers of employees, while other jobs will be shipped overseas, the tech giant revealed on Wednesday. The unspecified number of firings are not company-wide, and affected employees will be able to apply for internal roles, reapply for other roles that are open, a spokesperson confirmed. A small percentage impacted roles will be relocated to hubs inside Chicago, Atlanta, India, and Dublin. If you know what's going on in Dublin, you basically know that all 4 of these cities are the same. The layoffs show a slew of job cuts across Google and the tech and the media industry this year, adding to the fears that layoffs may continue as companies grapple with economic uncertainty. Well, yeah, keep backing Biden because you're going to get 4 more years of tightening that belt. Throughout the second half of 2023 into 2024, a number of teams made changes to become more efficient and work better, meaning laid people off. To remove layers and align their resources to their biggest product priorities, the spokesperson said. And here we go. You can see, although this is tech employees laid off in 2023, 2024. Look at this. In January 2023, 100,000 people laid off. Then every month since, 40,000, 20,000, 15,000. I mean, this has got to be close to 1 million, 500,000 probably tech employees laid off in a year. It's been an absolute bloodbath. And these people aren't like moving laterally into another big tech job where they make $200,000 a year. Everybody's laying people off. Google, Facebook, Instagram, Shopify, all these companies that are out in Silicon Valley, absolutely cutting staff like massively. But on the very same day that Google announces more company-wide layoffs, their brain, super, ultra, mega brain employees decided to stage a sit-in in which another 30 people got fired so Google could avoid paying severance. So that's good for Google. Perhaps they saved some employees jobs who they actually wanted to go to work and they didn't want to just get paid to do activism. But what's interesting here, Dr. KS, Kate Sim, okay? Here we go. The R-word apologist who is actually in charge of child safety at Google claims that she was fired today after participating in hours-long protest and takeover of Google offices. Sometimes the problems take care of themselves. You see this individual. This is nuts. Okay, ready? So, breaking, Google fires 28 workers in indiscriminate act of mass retaliation. No. What do you mean? They gave them, you saw them ask these idiots 100 times to leave, and they never did. You know, they never left. So, what do you mean? Anyway, terminated worker here. Listen when employers tell you exactly who they are. McCarthyism is alive and well. Look how terrified they are of worker power. Yeah, they're so scared they just shuttled you out the door like a bunch of clowns. These people live in a bizarro land. If you don't think that there's 1,000 people to every one person who works at Google waiting for that job, I've got news for you. And by the way, there's thousands flowing over the border every month. By the way, there's 100 million Pajits who will take your job in India. All right. So maybe be thankful that you have a job that will probably not exist in a few years thanks to AI. But anyway, solidarity always will keep us safe when we fight together. No, it didn't keep you safe. Everyone laughed at you and you got fired. But then let's take a look at some other tweets from this very same individual. And these are not ancient tweets. These are tweets from a few months ago. Don't be swayed by Karens and their crocodile imperial feminism against the R word, taking women against their will. It plays right into a long tradition of white women weaponizing femininity and motherhood to discipline/punish men of color. What? By the way, again, just so we're clear, this is a woman who was in charge of child safety. Emmett Till, Vincent Chen, Rasen Shana, all in the name of white sexuality. What? What? I don't even understand. And by the way, you know what's so weird? If these people hated working for Google so much, why didn't they just quit? It's very simple. You know how many jobs I've quit in my life? Let me see. Didn't like working at Office Max, quit there. Didn't like working at Best Buy, quit that job. Didn't like Menards, quit that job. Didn't like Walmart, quit that job. Didn't like working for the Internet Incubator, BizLab, quit that job. I mean, I've been able to somehow escape every job I didn't like in my entire life, except for the one time I got laid off, which kind of sucked. I did like that job. It was very accommodating. So if you go to this tweet, of course, terminated worker here, 26,000 likes, 28,000. But then you look at people dig up previous tweets and be like, yeah, maybe don't apologize for terrible behavior while working in child safety. People putting that out. Apparently, you can be an expert on this type of bad behavior in Korea. A graduate of Harvard and a Dr. Phil candidate at Oxford, while being either completely innumerate, surprisingly bigoted, or just plain too lazy to look up the idea. I mean, expert on this kind of bad behavior, but pro-Palestine. Odd combination considering what happened on October 7th. Just absolutely brutal. And by the way, again, I am not a noticer. I don't think about Jewish people. I don't think about Palestinian people. I think about the people immediately in my life. Good friend of mine, his brother had a cardiac incident yesterday. I actually don't know if he survived it or not. I didn't ask, but I do know he was in the hospital. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking about my friends, my family. I don't think about where they go to church or what their race is or what these people are lunatics. All right. And look, I got to be honest with you. If you're making me pick a side based on optics, based on what I'm seeing, I don't see a bunch of Jewish people invading other people's offices here or making people feel uncomfortable or screaming and chanting and ranting and raving and crying and filling their dites. It's always the pro-Palestine people that are doing that. Of course, the quote tweets are an absolute goldmine for this individual. This person was responsible for child safety at Google. Again, apologia for terrible behavior. One of the most justified job terminations in history. Sorry, you don't get to be involved in child safety at Google. I mean, like, it is just so funny. It's so funny. McCarthyism had nothing to do with getting fired for being disruptive and destructive at work. What happened to you was your stupid and dumb headery has gone and made you jobless and quite possibly unemployable. Maybe Qatar government will hire, I don't know. Prognosis negative. I mean, like, everybody, turns out you don't get paid to protest and trespass. And no, it's not McCarthyism. It's narcissist, anti-Semitic, self-entitled imbecile who devalues Jews because she considers us white with privilege. She goes, again, I don't care about the Jew stuff. I don't want to get into the Jew stuff. I'm just saying I'm addressing what Dr. KS Lamau self-owned. I mean, this individual, has a PhD and is just getting absolutely destroyed. Nobody cares about this crap in America, bro. We're trying to pay for our groceries. We're trying to look at the price of gas going up because there's going to be potentially another conflict in the Middle East. Nobody cares about you getting fired. You can go and you have plenty of time to watch Zenadiah on Euphoria or whatever the hell it is in your free time. F around and find out. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. We'll talk to you again real soon.